In the recent history of Tamil Nadu, Pollachi will go down as the most horrific mass sexual assault case in history. Assaults planned brazenly by perpetrators who preyed upon women. I'm not going to call them helpless women, on women. Today, the first step was taken towards serving justice when the Mahila Court in Coimbatore found all 9 accused in the Pollachi sexual assault case guilty and sentenced them to life imprisonment till death. The court also ordered that the state government pay a total compensation of 85 lakhs to 8 survivors of the sexual assault. The case, which shook the collective conscience of the entire nation, not just Tamil Nadu, unfolded between 2016 and 2018 when 9 men from Pollachi were arrested for blackmailing, sexually assaulting and videographing young girls and women. Take a look, ladies and gentlemen, at the criminals who wreaked havoc on the women of Pollachi, and I shall read out their names so that we never forget. N. Sasidharan, K. Thiruvanukarasu, M. Satish, T. Vasantakumar, R. Manivannan, P. Babu, T. Hieronymus Paul, K. Arulanandam, M. Arun Kumar. Those are the faces. Today, all of them have been sentenced to life until death, the perpetrators. According to the public prosecutor Chandramohan, and I am quoting him here about what the punishment is, they all have been convicted on 2 major offences, 376D and 3762N of the former Indian Penal Code, which pertains to gang rape and repeated rape of the same woman. When the case came to light after a 19-year-old girl student lodged a police complaint against 4 men, in February 2019, the local police initially began probing the case, which was later transferred to CBCID and finally handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation or CBI in 2019. The charges were framed against the men in November 2021. After the investigating team spoke to 50 witnesses and more than 240 documents were presented before the court. The case, of course, became political and a major flashpoint during the last assembly elections in Tamil Nadu, but the case in itself is shameful and on many counts. First, the criminal intent of local men who ensnared young college girls and many others. The involvement of Arulanandam, the then AIDMK Pollachi Town Students Wing Secretary, who is of course amongst the 9 who have been found guilty, and worse, when the then collector, when the then Coimbatore SP R. Pandiyarajan in a televised news conference gave away the survivor's name. Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin, took to X and said, "Justice has been served for the atrocities committed by criminals, including the evil AIADMK executives." Leader of AIDMK and former Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy wrote a lengthy tweet and trained his guns back at Stalin and said, amongst other things, "It was my government that arrested the criminal in that camp. I did not rush to protect him like you DMK sympathizers do. I ordered a CBI probe in a neutral manner. Don't come waving your, that is party sticker, as usual, Mr. Stalin." Tamil Nadu BJP President Nayanar Nagendran, whose party has formed an alliance with the AIDMK for 2026 elections, took to X and said, "It is very welcome that the Coimbatore Women's Court has found all 9 people involved in the Pollachi sexual assault case, which has devastated the lives of many women and shaken Tamil Nadu, guilty and sentenced them all to life imprisonment until death." Pollachi, and then the Anna University sexual assault case. How many should one act to prove that the Dravidian parties may go blue in their faces, pontificating about the safety of women, but can they ever erase the trauma of these Tamil women? That's what we are asking today. Let's debate. Dr. R.K. Radha Krishnan, senior journalist, has joined us. S. Muralidharan, political analyst, and Satish Kumar, who is an advocate from the Madras High Court, is also here. Vanakkam to all of you. Satish, the first question is, of course, that this is the lower court. They can of course appeal to the high court and then of course go to the apex court. Am I correct in assuming that also?
Yeah, of course.
Question 1B. Satish,
right.
just a minute. Life imprisonment until death. Does that change as of now in a position of status quo? Satish.
So far, I don't think so, because considering the seriousness of the offence and also the
Right.
After the verdict, the evidences what have been produced by CBI is very, very clear. And I think even the witnesses, nearly 48 witnesses have been brought in this case. And in this at present, I also appreciate CBI in this case, especially because they give a lot of psychological counseling and support to the victims, and they only brought the victims before the court as a witnesses. So this is a very tremendous and changing factor in this case, especially when compared to the other cases of like maybe the Nirbhaya case or any other sexual assault case. This case is different, because the girls have come forward to some extent to give witness and evidences. Because previously, in this case, no victim were coming forward. But from the electronic evidences, the CBI came to know that who are all the victims. Then they approached them in a different manner. And due to the soft approach and the counseling given to the victims, they came forward. This is the interesting factor and also surprising factor, and that brought the justice. And now the accused have been given a proper verdict in this matter.
Dr. Radha Krishnan, for me, what is very, very important is that Satish began with saying that there was a lot of counseling, etc. But the girl who first came forward, it took her almost, let's say, 13 to 14 months to come forward and speak to the police. And I also want to bring to your attention the collusion of the state, the ruling AIDMK at that time perhaps, the atmosphere of fear, the atmosphere of stigma, the atmosphere of being ostracized completely, and also the way the police, the top cop, the way in Coimbatore, Pandiyarajan revealed the name of the victim, a complete hogwash, hodgepodge, which perhaps made AIDMK to first give it to the local police, then it was transferred to the CBCID and then to the CBI. Dr. Radha Krishnan, I do not think, like I said right in the beginning, in the recent history, one saw such an ugly underbelly of how men ensnared women in Kovai or Coimbatore.
Absolutely. So this is a far larger case. There are more perpetrators. Unfortunately, only 9 have been brought to the book. There are much more. It's much bigger in Coimbatore, in Coimbatore district, which is in Pollachi is the place where this took place. But beyond that, I would like to add to what the honorable advocate said. It is not the CBI which persuaded the women to come. It was a local magazine. It was Nakiran which first reported this incident. And Nakiran editor Nakiran Gopal was the person who actually encouraged these women to come forward. And there was a lot of support on the part of Nakiran. So let's recognize that it was a local Tamil magazine. Of course, it's a controversial magazine. Some call it an yellow rag and all of that. But that was the magazine which first reported it. It has DMK leanings. This was during a time when AIDMK was in power, and obviously Nakiran Gopal was picked up by the CBCID. There was a huge, kind of questioning of the editor, asking his motives and trying to make it as if he is part of the entire rape operation, and that he was running some kind of a ring. Now, CBI did a fabulous, fantastic job. They actually put the entire thing together, made sure that the witnesses stayed, and also brought in additional evidences to the extent that we saw that the Mahila Court, part of the verdict I saw, but then unfortunately the entire verdict is yet to be uploaded. We have not seen it. But then from what I've seen, it is extremely watertight. And this case, at least these 9 people have been brought to book. To that extent, I am very happy. Of course, there is a political angle everywhere involved. Of course, the Anna University case is still going on. That is with the there is an DMK chap involved there. This is completely ADMK, and ADMK tried to hush it up. We're using the CBCID at that point of time. We have to also mention another person, Jafar Said, the infamous IPS officer, was in charge of CBCID, who tried to shove this under the carpet. And that is exactly when the DMK and the other political parties. You might have remembered that the DMK was not allowed to protest. No opposition party. In fact, you should see the iconic picture of Kanimuri sitting in Coimbatore just after she got out of the Coimbatore airport. When she was prevented from going to Pollachi, she sat on the road along with a bunch of supporters, and so many people were prevented from going to Pollachi to exercise the democratic function of trying to protest. This is what the ADMK did at that point of time. Of course, the honorable thing that the ADMK did obviously is to shift the case out of CBCID, which is a state government organization, into the hands of the CBI just before an election. And unfortunately, this didn't have a huge say in the election. I thought in 2019, the ADMK government will collapse given the fact that it needed at least 9 people to win, 9 MLAs to win to hold the government, and it managed to get those numbers. So ADMK gets its numbers. The DMK combined makes a huge clean sweep of the
Right,
MP
okay.
seats. But unfortunately, again in 2021 too, it was not a clean sweep for the DMK in the western region where this rape happened. Again in 2021, we see that the people have preferred the ADMK BJP combined in that region.
Right, but Muralidharan, coming here, a lot of other political analysts have said that this did have a role to play in the AIDMK debacle in the last assembly elections, much like what it may happen for the DMK after Anna University and several other cases, which keeps going on and on and on and on, and nothing is really done about it, the deteriorating law and order situation. Do you think, Muralidharan, that this which has now come up, the way they tried to shield Bar Nagaraj, if I remember his name right, I do not know if I am getting his name right here, and also Arulanandam, one of the guilty, if you can put up the picture of Arulanandam on the screen, please, full screen. I want to ask you, will it impact the elections, the 2026 elections, Muralidharan, because this is one thing that the opposition is not going to let go of.
What we need to understand, Sudha, in fact, it was Pollachi Jayaraman who pushed for the inquiry, and even though one of the functionaries is from ADMK, but Nakiran, as mentioned by Dr. Radha Krishnan here, it is a DMK leaning magazine. So they brought out the narrative, and DMK is like, you would have seen them very active in each and every protest. Similarly, they took this to the people, saying that it was the ADMK functionaries who were involved, and they are the culprits, and the ADMK is trying to shield them. What we need to understand is it's only because of ADMK the matter went to the CBI and not investigated by the local police or the CID. Now, another point is, if you also notice that Madras POXO case, where a small child was, gang raped by a few hooligans, and the Madras, the Tamil Nadu State Police went to Supreme Court to, the Madras High Court has ordered a CBI inquiry, and the Madras, Chennai, Tamil Nadu Police went to Supreme Court to scuttle that, and they got it on their face, and the special investigation team was formed. Similarly, in the Kallakurichi incident also. So every time in, it's very easy to pinpoint at ADMK. At least, the people are getting, these girls who suffered are getting justice today. If it would have been a DMK regime, it wouldn't have. It's the same thing with Anna University. What did the cop try to do? He tried to say that there is no sir. It was only one person who did the. Even before the investigation, he started that, and they also tried to shame that girl. And when they went to file a complaint.
But Muralidharan, I completely agree with what you say. But there is no kind of if they and if we, because it has to be done. The thing is, it has to be. There is no if you and if I do it. It's under the law. The most, or I'm not. Anna University case is despicable, but the point is, the Pollachi case stands out for me. So many women, Murali, it's not just one, young college girls, innocent, lured into the car. Remember the first incident to say that, come, I want to talk to you, and then, assaulting her sexually, a gang of men, and then making it a habit. Who does that? You can only do it if you have no fear of the police, Muralidharan. Otherwise, imagine, how do you do it? In a road, Dharmapuri road or something? No, it is, I'm talking about 2016 to 18, times have changed now. Yeah, so I am asking you.
Things have not changed is what I'm trying to say. 2 days back, a 13-year-old girl was again, multiple people have gang raped her, even small school children have got together. I mean, this has happened just 2 days back, so things have not improved. So law and orders, we can't say it's like hunky-dory. Law and orders have actually gone to worse now.
Absolutely.
What it was at that point of time.
Yeah, sure.
That is...
Yeah.
Shudha, I would like to add my point in this matter, because always the political parties know whenever something happens like this, they wanted to gain some sort of political mileage for their personal
Always
benefits.
no, Satish.
I totally, because I'm a neutral person. I don't want to support any of the parties in this matter, because I take this matter only in a legal issues and legal angle.
Okay, let's talk about legal.
It is quite unfortunate. It is quite unfortunate in Tamil Nadu. Every political party, they want to gain some sort of political mileage for their personal benefits.
It's not just Tamil Nadu, it's the world over,
benefits.
Satish. That's what political parties are all about. They're all waiting to prey on each other because it is about being in power. It's not unique to Tamil Nadu. I want to ask you, talk about legality. What about that Pandya who went and revealed the name of the survivor? What kind of a punishment did he get? That's a crime. We are talking about rules and legal here. Who is it? The activist came forward and said, how dare he do it? I want to know if any government official or anyone else took any stand against him. Even a trainee journalist in a newsroom, Dr. Radha Krishnan, will bear me out on this. We know this. You do not reveal the name of a survivor. Top official, he comes out and he reveals the name. You're talking about legality, Satish? This is the standard of people. How do you and I do not know that he did it deliberately? Tell me, Satish here.
Sudha, I think in this matter, I also personally feel that the cop, especially the person or the top official, ought not to have done like this. But there must be some sort of political pressure, or maybe some other pressure to him, which cannot be denied. Which cannot be, unless otherwise he comes out. And so far in this case, how far that matter, because even if we are when you are charging the accused, maybe entering into the privacy of a person, that is also one of the offense. I think whether maybe in this case or maybe in some other case, a separate case, I feel that under 66E or something like that of the IT Act, even there might be a complaint against him. I don't think so anyone has given a complaint against him. If any complaint has been given against him also, I feel definitely the law will take its own force. But unfortunately, according to my understanding, no one has come forward in this matter, especially because the focus was only on the victims and not on maybe the cop, who is also in a top position at the time. That was happened. So where we have to give a social awareness, the awareness has to be given more, not only on the victims and also the persons who are all directly or indirectly supporting the criminals. There also an awareness has to be given, especially in this matter. Even I remember the one of the advocate who supported the brother of the first victim. He only brought the matter out.
Right.
So somewhere or the other, we have to enlighten the people more and more on many aspects.
But these are advocates and police officers. They better be enlightened before they take the chair. I'm so sorry. There are no discounts for them. Dr. R.K. Radha Krishnan.
Absolutely.
No.
You
can ask someone else to say, okay, this is not the way to speak. These people, they don't deserve it. Dr. Radha Krishnan, I want to come to you. Dr. Radha Krishnan, the young woman comes and speaks, I think, in the month of February 2019, and then March it is given to CBI. Dr. Radha Krishnan, do you think there was, the swiftness with which it was done, from the local to the CBCID and then to the CBI? Do you think somewhere Yedapadi Palaniswamy and AIADMK also found that with some of their party members, student wing leader and other people involved in it, did he feel the pressure was too much and therefore gave it to the CBI to see that it was what is called non-partisan and out of their ambit? Doctor.
Absolutely, Sudha, you are absolutely right. See, what happened was initially the local police started investigating, and it is then that this SP did this very despicable thing of revealing the name. That name revelation also did not come immediately. In fact, that particular girl was made to come to the police station several times, number one. Number two, she was detained at the police station. Then her brother had gone to the police station and he was detained, and the entire family was threatened. Even after that, she insisted that a complaint be filed. And when this came to light, and I think some of the media also, the local media also converged with the police station, and that is when the SP was forced to act. And the SP made, obviously, you can't get to be an SP and be in a particular district without the blessing of the local politician, the ruling party's local politician. That is what has happened. Obviously, the SP tried very hard to protect the local politician. Now, you look at draw the parallels between the Ambasandaram case, where an SP, ASP actually tried to and beat up and created havoc in the lives of some four kids. And this particular case, you will see that the Balvinder Singh, the guy who actually beat up those students, has actually been, at one point was arrested, and of course there are legal proceedings against him in the Abbasapatram court. But unfortunately, against this particular chap, there is absolutely no legal thing at all. He was transferred from there, and that is the only thing that happened. That is because the local media put so much of pressure. Let me again bring to the case of media, because without the media, this case would not have come this far. And yes, Nakiran is a DMK leading. It is called an yellow magazine, as I said. But then the role of that particular magazine cannot obviously be written in this particular.
Magazine and every newspaper. Nakiran, I totally understand, Doctor.
Fabulous. And completely, it is salute to media, salute to CBI, which completely kept politics out of it. I'm very sure the CBI also would have been under pressure, but CBI did a fabulous job. We don't get to say this often enough these days because of what the CBI does, but CBI did a fabulous job. Congratulations to all of them.
Right. Muralidharan, I also want to bring to your notice that amongst all the women who came in, the survivors who have been given compensation, and rightfully so, there are many who decided to keep out of it. Apparently, there was a lot of, the speculation was that there was a lot of societal pressure, coercion from local politicians, which can happen. It's not a new story. We've all lived through it. If you go and talk, we will do this, we will do that. Do you think in retrospect, Edappadi Palaniswamy handled the case? Forget, maybe they won. They, like doctor said, that they won, and there was not a major kind of a flashpoint for them so far as this is concerned. But do you think that it could have been, you think Edappadi handled it well? And if so, why do you think so? Because he transferred the case. Obviously, somewhere he felt that this is now gone out of my hand with Nakiran and Gopal, everyone getting it.
Yeah, the legal discourse, like what happens to the, initially starts with somebody exposing it, then probably the case has been initially gets taken up by the police. After that, the CBCID is pushed into it, and end of it, everybody will start asking for a CBI inquiry. Now, CBI inquiry normally it's the court which orders, because CBI's mandate is, unless it involves a multi-level, a multi-state, crime, normally CBI doesn't get involved. So unless the court directs them, so that's I think the legal course. So obviously, what he did is right. At least he had the heart to do that, instead of going to the Supreme Court and to whenever the court says, Madras High Court says, start a CBI inquiry, and no point going to Supreme Court and saying no, we are good enough to investigate. No, that's not the way. At least he was passive enough to say that. But that I don't think that's happening right now. See, we also have to understand the erring cops, the gentleman who disclosed the names there, and also the erring cop in Chennai who tried to cover up the amnesty case. So there is the legal framework is there. That's in place. The problem is even the cops don't follow it, and every time it has the courts, especially Madras High Court or the Supreme Court, they have to wrap them up. Only then they start following up until the next case. After that they'll again do the same thing, and it starts from there.
All right.
If we can give legal protection to these women and not to disclose their identity, many will come forward and disclose.
Absolutely, very well said. But then this is only this is only the beginning. We celebrated a little, but I think we should wait for the final celebrations, because they can appeal, like Satish, the advocate on our show said, that the game is not yet over, as it were.